DHS Secretary Kristi Noem is all over Latin America this week, but her next stop is in Mexico, where she'll soon meet Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum. Earlier, the Mexican president, in a press conference, addressing our brewing trade war and growing tensions at our shared border. Plus, the Trump administration is still pointing fingers at Mexico, saying they're doing very little to stop fentanyl from pouring into the United States, even calling it the top threat in our nation. But as we wait for that meeting, we know the DHS secretary's top priority is focused on getting a step ahead of the Mexican cartels. Take a listen to what she told our Allie Bradley in the past.
Well, I think, Allie, what people need to remember is just how sophisticated the cartels are. You know, a lot of times when people think about the cartels of the past, they just think of street violence. They're using apps, drones, technology, and partnering with other enemies of the United States to conduct human trafficking, drug smuggling, but also money laundering. So they're very sophisticated, and they're getting more and more violent.
Let's bring in Republican Congressman Troy Downing of Montana to discuss. Congressman, thanks for joining us. DHS Secretary Kristi Noem will soon be in Mexico. How do you expect this visit to play out?
Well, you know, I hope that it continues doing what we all ran on and promised to do, is to, you know, make America safe. You know, we need to protect our borders. We need to make sure we're getting rid of these cartels and gangs that are operating. You know, one of the biggest things that I'm hearing from my constituents is they're worried about just, you know, general public safety. We just had 3 members from Tren de la Agua arrested in Havre, which is up near the Canadian border. But we've got these cartels and these gangs, MS-13 gangs, Sinaloa, TDA, operating in Montana. You know, a lot of them are in and around reservations where they've got, you know, somewhat ambiguous, jurisdiction on law enforcement. And the crime rate is just through the roof, not just, you know, drug-related, human trafficking-related, and just plain violence-related. And we need to actually have some positive results here. And I'm going to tell you, I'm pretty happy with what the Trump administration is doing. I'm pretty happy with what I expect Secretary Noem to do, and actually starting to put a cork into this giant hole in the bottom of the boat that's causing this flood of bad actors coming to the United States of America. So I'm really hopeful that this is going to be a positive step.
And you know this very well, Congressman. The DHS secretary has been visiting several Latin American countries during her trip. When she was in Colombia, this is what she said.
We're going to strengthen our regional security systems and make sure that we're disrupting the movement of threatening actors that perpetuate illegal activity and also facilitate illegal trafficking of migrants across the Western Hemisphere. I believe that Colombia and the United States can be leaders in this area.
So part of that strategy includes sharing biometric data for law enforcement. Do you think that's a game changer?
Well, I think that everything that we can do to stop the flow of bad actors coming down here, I think that having a positive working relationship with other governments south of the border is going to be very positive in bringing this back. I think taking these criminals back into these places and understanding the ramifications if they don't do that, and having any kind of relationship with the United States of America is the message that we need to send. And so I'm really happy that we are down there working out these deals so that they understand that they need to stop this influx, this invasion of bad actors in the United States, or there will be repercussions. And I think that there's a lot of opportunity to put together agreements so that we're not destroying these relationships, that they have what they need to do to work with the United States of America, and we do what we need to do and protect our borders, protect our cities, protect our states, protect our families and people just trying to live in a place with, you know, lower crime and less, you know, less violence. And I think that Secretary Noem is going to be very successful in negotiating that.
Thanks so much for watching. Just go to joinnn.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.